So I am here today to show you how to get this speedy, savvy face. It's actually 2 steps because I'm a little bit extra all the time. I'm going to show y'all how to do something that you can accomplish in about 5 minutes, and then a few extra steps that you could throw in there if you find yourself with an extra 2, 3, 5 minutes in the morning. So if you're interested in seeing how to get a speedy and then slightly less speedy, savvy face, keep on watching. Okay, got my hair out of the way, let's begin. Now, when I'm doing a very minimal look, I tend to try to get my skin looking as nice as it possibly can, and then just pay a little bit of attention to the eyes, because I feel like skin and eyes, for me, are the most important things. I do eyes first, so that way if there's any fallout or mess ups from doing my eyes, I can easily clean that away without disturbing the work that I've done on my face. So let's dive in. The first thing I'm going to do is put down a base of Best Kept Secret, and it's just basically a skin tone eyeshadow, and that just sets down a nice even foundation for any of the other eyeshadows to go on. We're not going to do a whole lot of eyeshadows on the eyes. We're going to focus mainly on the lash line and to help open up the eyes. So the first thing that I'd like to do is add a slightly lighter, possibly sparkly color to the moving part of the lid, and that will help to create a little bit of contrast between the lid and the lash line, and also help to open up the eyes a bit. If you want to get a bit more contrast and build up that contrast more quickly, the best thing to do is to take a flat brush like this and spritz it with the misting spray, and then dip that into whichever shadow you're going to use. And you'll see here, I'm actually going to dip into a little bit of Spoiled and then go into a little bit of Wanderlust. And you'll see how that just really immediately starts to show a bit more contrast. Okay, so now we're going to start to build that contrast in with some eyeliner at the lash line. For this step, you can use an angled brush or just a small, very directional brush like this one. And any darker eyeshadow you have. It can be the Multitasker or the Jet Setter eyeliner, or you could even use the diffused eyeshadow, or what's the other one? Determined. Any one of those darker shades would work for this step. For today though, I'm going to go for the most contrast that I can get, and so I'm going to use the Jet Setter eyeliner. I'm going to use a very small pointed brush like this and just quickly and easily run it along the lash line. Make sure you tap off your brush before you go to applying it to your eye. And when I do this, I get hardly any fallout or mess to clean up after. And so you see there, we're just not even really too precisely. We're just trying to create a little bit of contrast there and definition at the lash line. The next step for the eyes is going to be curling your lashes and applying a coat of mascara. Savvy Minerals doesn't have a mascara, so whichever one is your current favorite, just dive right on into that. So when I do looks like this, I like to focus primarily on the upper lash line, so I just lightly graze the lashes on the bottom. And that again emphasizes the contrast at the upper lash line and helps to make your eyes look a bit more open and awake, which is what you want when you're putting your makeup on at 5:30 in the morning. So that's it for the basic eye. Now we're going to move on to the skin, which is the most important thing to me. This would be the step where, depending on how you apply your Savvy Minerals foundation, you would either do your primer step, which is basically just moisturizer, or your serum, or something of that nature. But for me, because I have a 2-step foundation process because of my skin condition, my hydrating primer step, and I say that because moisturizer traditionally is not a primer. It's not considered a primer. That's not the purpose of it, but for this foundation, it needs a good moisturizing base. So for me, that step is a tinted moisturizer. Now, you could let the tinted moisturizer be it for you if you don't need as much coverage as I do. That certainly would be a viable option. So you would just take your favorite moisturizer and mix it up with a little bit of the minerals in your hand and apply it to your face as you would a BB cream or something. But again, as I've said many times, I'm a little too precious and my skin requires a little bit of extra attention. So I've actually mixed my tinted moisturizer on this little palette and I'm going to apply it quickly with a beauty blender. You want to apply it the traditional way, then you would put down your moisturizer, your serum, then your moisturizer, however you choose to do it, and then you would spray your brush. I usually start with 2 sprays, sometimes 3, it just depends on the day. And then I dip into the minerals and get it kind of nice and coated on the brush and then tap off the excess. And then I lightly stipple over the areas that I need the most coverage, which is typically right here, and then smooth it out. Again, if you do not need the same level of coverage that I do, you could do either the tinted moisturizer or just do the second step that I did, applying the, spraying your brush and applying the minerals across in a nice even layer over your face. That would cut your time there considerably. Okay, so now that the base is done, now we're going to move on to either bronzer or blush or both, depending on your preference. Both of them are super quick and easy. I like to do bronzer first, so if you're choosing to do bronzer, I would dip in really quickly. You dip your brush into the minerals and then tap off the excess. And then what you want to do is start under the cheekbone, go right above it, and follow the hairline around. In that little swooping motion, I like to go in little circular motions. And you see there how quickly that is. And it just adds a little bit of warmth and glow to the face. Okay, the next step is blush. And so you're going to take your blush brush of choice, dip into your minerals, tap off, and you're just going to go right over the apple of the cheek, which is the roundest part of your cheek area. Just adding a little bit of color. A peach blush like I Do Believe You're Blushing, or a pink one like Smashing would be the best choice to really get the most bang for your buck there, since you're cutting corners for a quick routine, and it just adds a bit of color and life to the face. Okay, so you could call that done with the skin and then just move on to the lips. Now, you could swipe on one of the lipsticks or one of the lip glosses, or you could do this trick where you take a darker color like one of the bronzers or the Passionate blush, and I've already got lip balm on my lips, and then I just dip my finger in and lightly pat. So you could call that done, okay? And you could totally, if you weren't videoing this and explaining everything to people, you could totally get that done in about 5 minutes. Like, you really, really could. But if you have a few extra minutes and you want to kind of up the volume on anything on your face, you could do it on your eyes, you could do it with your skin. I'm going to show you those things as well. So the next thing that I would do for me personally is I would do a little bit more work on my eyes, because the way I have hooded eyes and I feel like they just benefit from a little extra attention. The first thing that I'm going to do is take a little bit of the multitasker on a pointed brush like this. And I'm going to go right in that outer corner area. I'm going to start lightly applying some of that multitasker and then up into the crease area to just build a little bit of depth there. And I went a little too heavy-handed with that, so I'm going to lightly buff over that. And what that does is it just adds a little bit more definition and contour to the eye, which my particular eye benefits from. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's step one for me, for my eyes, just upping the volume a little bit. The next thing that I would do is pay a little bit more attention to my lashes. And for that, I'm gonna use the Lash Trick using the Diamond Dust. So I already have one layer of mascara. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna coat my lashes, just the upper lashes, with the Diamond Dust. You see my lashes basically disappear. And then I'm going to go over that with another coat of mascara. And I'm going to show you. You see how that built up some volume and length there? The Diamond Dust kind of acts as fibers. But the really great thing about this, as opposed to other fiber type mascara deals, is that it doesn't weigh the lashes down. So the curl that I did, so it holds my curl all day and it doesn't flake off. And every other fiber mascara I have chosen, even the expensive ones, flake off on me and get into my contacts and create all kinds of watery eye situations. I have not had a single experience like that. I have not had a single problem with doing it this way, and I absolutely love the result. Okay, so do you see how that just really adds even more definition to the eyes and helps to open up the eyes a little bit? It's one extra step. If you have another minute or two, go ahead and do the diamond dust or add a little bit of contour, whatever your preference is to the eyes. Now, if you would like to do a little bit more with your skin, like contouring and highlighting and stuff, you can, and you have like another 2 or 3 minutes, you could totally and easily do that as well. So a brush like this helps to make a really quick job of contouring. So you would just take this brush and lightly dip into either the bronzer or if you mixed your own contour powder like I did, and then you go right where your ear meets your face and about halfway down, so about even with where your eyebrow stops, and then I diffuse it up as well to just blend it in. Super, super easy. No muss, no fuss. This would have been an easier side to start with. Halfway and then up and down to diffuse it in. And you see, there you go. I have the illusion of cheekbones. And then for highlight, this is the easiest way I have found to make sure that you don't overdo it, but also get a lot of contrast and shine there, is I put a little bit of lavender lip balm on my hand, and then I dip a stippling brush like this into some Wanderlust eyeshadow and just tap it in. You could also do this with the diamond dust, either one. And then when you turn your head and you see right there where the light hits, you just go boop, 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 right there. And again, boop, boop, boop. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It took about 30 seconds. And you have highlight. Nice. Okay, I also, just because I'm a little too precious, I put some on the tip of my nose and Cupid's bow. Now the only other thing that I have to do is my brows and my concealer, which if you can cover your under eye circles with the foundation when you're putting on your foundation, God bless you. I can't, and my brows are a hot mess always. So I'm going to do those two things off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I fixed my hair, and that's it. The last thing I would like to do is just give myself a nice spritz with the misting spray because it smells so nice. So there you go. I hope you learned some tips on how to do a speedy, savvy face and a slightly less speedy, savvy face for those days when you're feeling a bit extra. So skin, lashes, and blush, and you're good to go. But I wanted to show those extra steps for people so that they could see that they really don't take that much time. So if you find yourself with, 7 minutes instead of 5, you could still fit in 1 or 2 of those things. So if you wanted to. So there you go. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything, put those down in the comment section down there. If this video was helpful to you, then please consider giving it a thumbs up and maybe subscribing. That would be amazing. And yeah, I guess that's it for me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.